Well, we are getting some new details now about the alleged drug-fueled hotel nights that are at the center of Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking trial. Right now, his former girlfriend, Jane, that's a pseudonym, is testifying. She's telling jurors how they picked her sex partners for these nights.
Now, she testified that at first she had no say in how the men were selected and that Combs allegedly made those decisions. Now, over time, she says she could choose partners. NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Malas joins us now from outside the courtroom. Chloe, just give us some color on this testimony because, setting the scene for our viewers, Jane is a former girlfriend like Cassie Ventura. The alleged hotel nights that Jane is detailing is very similar. We're calling them hotel nights between
Instead of
quotation marks,
yeah,
quotation marks, because of the freak-offs, right? She's saying they're very similar. So walk us through the connection there.
Right. So Morgan and Vicky, freak-offs and hotel nights are the same thing. So those are just interchangeable phrases and nicknames for these nights where Diddy would hire these escorts to participate in these drug-fueled sex parties that he would sometimes film. So here is the way that this is breaking down in terms of how Jane Doe's testimony applies to these five charges that Sean Combs is facing. When it comes to transportation to engage in prostitution, which he faces 2 counts of that, simply prosecutors have to prove that Combs either wanted or hired or had these girlfriends hire these escorts and transport them across state lines, pay for their flights. We've heard about that during the testimony today, that Jane would sometimes pay for the flights and then get reimbursed by Combs, that they exchanged money with these escorts. There was cash in the drawer. Sometimes Jane would pay them on Cash App. Now, when it comes to the sex trafficking, prosecutors have to prove force, fraud, or coercion. Jane Doe is talking about being scared that Combs would allegedly threaten to stop paying her rent if she didn't continue to participate in these hotel nights, that she felt forced to continue to do this, that he would ply her with drugs like ecstasy. So again, they're really trying to meet the bar of those separate charges. But when it comes to RICO conspiracy, her testimony talking about the assistants procuring drugs when they would run out and setting up these hotel rooms for these freak-offs, that's how you get to the RICO conspiracy. But it is a little muddy. There are some gray areas. Her memory is not the best at times, and it's really going to ultimately be up to what does the jury believe.
Fascinating watching those cases side by side, right? Playing
Absolutely.
out simultaneously.
Chloe, a real bombshell moment yesterday because the judge made a very unusual move, but the judge threatened to remove Combs from the courtroom because he was being so expressive. He was looking at the jury, smiling, nodding. It's very rare for a defendant to be removed from the courtroom. How is Combs' demeanor today?
So this is something, though, that I have personally witnessed being in the courtroom for the last several weeks on and off. Combs has always looked at the jury, and he's always nodded along. Now, I wasn't in the courtroom when he was admonished. Perhaps it was more egregious in that moment. Today, he is looking at Jane Doe. He does glance over at the jury. He's looking really at Maureen Comey, the lead prosecutor, as well as Combs is looking at his own attorneys. But he's really being expressionless. He's turned around to his family and blown a kiss at them. His mother is in the courtroom and 2 of his sons. But again, I mean, he's really not supposed to be looking at the jurors and making any sort of signals to them. Other defendants in other cases, we've heard about them doing that before. But again, the judge is taking this very seriously. And if he does it again to a level that upsets the judge, I mean, I guess in theory, you could see him kind of removed from his own case and not being able to be in the courtroom.
Yeah, it was a very serious warning. Chloe Malas live in Manhattan for us. Chloe, thank you so much.